10D, and we've switched D for E. Adopt a resolution amending the agreement for shared deputy fire chief, fire marshal, and division chiefs between the cities of Millbrae and San Bruno.
We're doing E. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council. Before I get started, I would like to say thank you to the city manager and to yourselves for your name tag.
Oh, great. Thank you. Appreciate that. I just want to say thank you. I know fire, we've come forward, we've asked many requests. The council's been very supportive, and as well as the city manager. As the fire chief, I look forward to the day that I can come forward to you and say we have some proposals that are cost-cutting, cost savings. I ask never lose hope and keep the faith, and because it's not going to happen tonight. Tonight we have a proposal before you. That's two items. The first one we're going to take on is, we have two items. One is the agreement with the fire chief, shared fire chief agreement. The other is a shared agreement with the deputy fire chief, fire marshal, and battalion chief. So we're going to take the latter first, which is the shared battalion chiefs, the shared deputy chief, and also the fire marshal. And to begin, I got to go through a little bit of history of where this started. In 2006, San Bruno and Millbrae joined into an agreement at which time San Bruno was able to eliminate one battalion chief and provide truck service to Millbrae. Millbrae has and provides two battalion chiefs and receives the truck service, so they were able to eliminate a battalion chief. So San Bruno eliminated two battalion chiefs, Millbrae eliminated one in this process. In 2008, the county fire chiefs made a decision. It was much like in 1998 where we dropped the boundaries and we sent the closest engine. In 2008, we changed the response to where we ended up sending the closest truck, regardless if you provided or staffed a truck. And this was for agencies such as ourselves, that we have a truck. If our truck was on a call, if it was out of service, if it was on mechanical, that we would have backup and have a truck respond into our area. So since that, San Bruno and Millbrae have entered into other contracts with the shared fire chief, we've done the shared deputy chief, the shared fire marshal, and all of those costs have been at a cost allocation formula of 50-50. So 50% has been paid for by the city of San Bruno, 50 by the city of Millbrae. City of Millbrae has sent us a letter requesting that we terminate the 50-50 agreement, and their proposal is a 60-40 agreement. Their basis is back from the Matrix study, which is 2008, and the Citygate study, which is 2009-10, which had multiple cost allocation formulas within the study that kind of ranged from an area of about 58 to 65% that San Bruno would pay, and a 35 to 42% that Millbrae would be responsible for. So with that in front of us tonight is the proposal that it is a new cost allocation formula of 60-40, which has a negative fiscal impact on us for about $239,000. And so with that, I'll answer questions that you may have.
Any questions of the chief?
Chief, it's difficult sometimes for us, for me at least, to understand, you know, the truck issues and the engine issues, and you sort of explain it, but not. Can you elaborate more on what happened in 2008 as far as the county's decision on the usage of trucks, and how did that affect our partnership with Millbrae?
You bet. So prior to 2008, if there was an auto accident in Millbrae, that Millbrae would get, or prior to 2006, there was an auto accident, Millbrae would get one engine, they would not get a truck to respond. So the agreement we went into in 2006 allowed Millbrae to get a truck. In 2008, the county fire chiefs, both those individuals that had trucks housed and that did not have trucks housed, were trying to figure out how to make the system seamless, much like the engine companies went back and forth to have the truck companies respond in case our truck was out of service for the reasons we mentioned before. They were on a call to make sure we had backup. So with that, the agreement that was made, and the response plan was changed at county communications to automatically dispatch a truck, and it was dispatching the closest truck to the vicinity of the call. So that may be a San Bruno truck that goes, it may be a Daly City truck that goes, it may be a South City truck that goes, a CCFD, Central County Fire truck that goes. It just depends on what the closest truck is, and that will be dispatched. So it's back to what can we provide the citizens with as far as the fastest response and truck service.
So Millbrae still does not have a truck?
So Millbrae does not currently staff a truck, correct? And there are a few cities within San Mateo County that do not have trucks. There's only 9 trucks in San Mateo County.
So with this agreement in place that it was in 2008, it's really advantageous not to house a truck.
Absolutely agree with you. If that is, and again, it affects the level of service that you'll provide within the own community.
Right.
But for cost factors, absolutely, and it's an issue with truck service and also with battalion chiefs, as certain agencies end up eliminating battalion chiefs and go from 3 to 1. The surrounding agencies have to end up picking up the call volume.
Interesting. Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Irene?
Well, I'm looking at the chart that's on the last page where it says fiscal impacts, and it's going from division chiefs that we currently pay nothing for, and now we're going to go to $259,000 for division chiefs. How did we go from nothing to that much, and how is that? Because on paper we're going from 50% to 60%, and Millbrae's going from 50 to 40. So this increase does not seem like a.
If I can, let me go ahead and explain that then.
Oh, good.
Yes, because Millbrae calls their individuals division chiefs. We call them battalion chiefs. They perform the same duty. So division chiefs and battalion chiefs are the same for this conversation as far as the jobs they perform. So currently, we pay 100% of one battalion chief. Millbrae pays 100% of 2 battalion chiefs. We would then put the 3 together and pay 60% of the 3. So instead of paying 100% of the 1, we would pay 60% of the 3.
And why would we do that?
And why would we do that? The question is that is in play is that Millbrae is questioning that they're going to get truck service regardless of their contract that they have, where they're paying for 2 battalion chiefs and getting truck service in return. So if our truck is out of service or not able to respond to Millbrae, then another truck would have to respond, either Daly City's truck or CCFD's truck. So because of the way the system is set up, it has, for lack of a better word, devalued the contract that we had from 2006 to 2008. And so when we entered into the matrix study and we said what should the cost allocation formulas be, it kind of came across between that range we talked about earlier, that if we were to get into a larger consolidation, when we looked at the full cost of the entire consolidation, that the share would be about a 60-40 split from the Millbrae-San Bruno side.
If I may, and I may be stepping on toes or something, but Millbrae knew this in 2008, and this is 2014, and they're just now saying they want to change?
There's a lot of people that are asking that same question.
Okay. Okay, so I'll stop there if there's other questions.
Anyone else?
No? Okay.
Continue.
Continue. I don't have any more questions, except this is, well, I don't have any more questions. I was noting that one of the alternatives in the list here, besides the do not approve, what would be the ramifications if we said, no, we don't like this? They're going to stop. I mean, it just seems very strange to me.
If I might step in here first and answer the previous question, or at least provide a little bit of additional information. It's only been recently, I would say within the last probably about a year, and maybe I was just not well informed, but I'm not sure that all of the non-safety personnel, the city managers in particular, the council members certainly, were aware that a regional deployment change had occurred at the operational level. So
Okay.
even though this information, this discussion has been going on now for a little bit of time, it certainly has not been information that I think policymakers were aware of going back all the way to 2008. I hope that helps to illuminate the why didn't they say something earlier question that you asked previously. So alternatives, what happens if your second question, what might happen, what might be the logical outcome if you failed to agree to Millbrae's request for amendment of the agreement? Millbrae has already given us notice and triggered the 60-day notice period for termination of the agreement. They did so by letter on May 30th,
Right.
which means we're 30 days into that termination notice period, and that would render the agreement effectively null another month from now. So I can't speak for the specifics of the actions that Millbrae might take, but certainly one of them, given the action that has already been taken, would be to indicate their intent to terminate the relationship or the service that we're currently sharing, effective at the end of the 60 days. I would just step forward and say I don't think that's a good outcome for anybody. It would certainly would leave us scrambling to try and figure out how to, them as well as us, scrambling to figure out how to perform the necessary supervision of fire crews and apparatus. So I would say that a more logical outcome would be the need for a more comprehensive discussion. Okay, what do we do now? How quickly can we both come up with an alternative that would allow us to maintain adequate fire service deployment? And if an alternative that you might want to consider if you would like us to take on that discussion might be to approve the agreement or the amendment to the agreement, the amended agreement, for a period, it's recommended in the staff report as an alternative of, say, 6 months, during which we would work methodically with Millbrae as well as with our other partners in Central County Fire Department to determine how we might reasonably proceed with a solution that would avoid being in a situation of not having adequate supervisory coverage.
Okay, thank you. And I sort of understand Millbrae's position. They feel like they don't have the same service that they did before, and they're paying more than they feel they're paying more than they should. But it seems, I don't know, like it's a big financial surprise, so to speak. And if we hadn't had the surplus that we fortunately did this year, we would be scrambling to pay for it. $239,000 is a lot of money. So I would, unless there's other questions, I would introduce the resolution with the alternate to. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have
Rico has a
questions?
comment.
Okay, go ahead.
Something on what you're saying too, Amy. Thank you, Amy. A couple things on this. So I want to, if we were to enter into this agreement, then as far as any retirements from the city of Millbrae when it comes to their division and or bat chiefs, the city of Millbrae would then be responsible for the PERS and for any of the buyouts and any options that they offer currently as they are employed with the city of Millbrae, correct?
Right, thank you for asking that question. Actually, the agreement is silent on that, on the specifics of that topic. However, past practice in our shared staffing relationships with the city of Millbrae have turned out the way we would expect, which is that Millbrae would be responsible for those costs independently, and San Bruno would not share any costs of accumulated time paid out on separation of a tenured staff person in that city, just as the same would occur, although we have a much less lucrative separation payout arrangement here in San Bruno. Those costs are not shared on separation of a San Bruno employee. In talking with this issue, because you did raise it with staff previously, we recommend that specific topic could be covered in a side letter between our two agencies, and that would adequately clarify and document the understanding just in case it were to come up at some point in the future.
I would strongly recommend a side letter to this agreement. Also, we have our bat chief, as they term their division chief, that also does inspections, goes out, which of course those are fees, if I'm not mistaken, that are brought into both agencies. So as we're paying for 60% and Millbrae would be paying for 40%, both cities are seeing some revenues. I know some of it's to cover costs, but there is a revenue that both cities gain. So I think on some side letter that should be addressed as well, or at least looked into. As we also are going to be discussing the topic of the fire chief, and for a 6 months duration, and that's because obviously on when the CCFD board meets, and as far as future aspects of what Millbrae might be doing, I was going to recommend, because I'll tell you the mayor and I have met, and I know we are asking for any opportunities and options to be reviewing all those. Let's get everything out. Let's see what's before us. So my suggestion, Irene, as yours was to do the side letters with the 6 months and have it tied in, since the chief's suggestion from CCFD, if I said that right, CCFD? Thank you. And then tie that together so it keeps it current, and it gives us an opportunity to get some look at the whole picture.
So go ahead.
With the side letter. No.
So you want to introduce it based on that?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and introduce the resolution stipulating that we have the side letter attached, in addition to it being for 6 months.
Vice Mayor Medina.
Aye.
Councilmember Salazar.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Connell.
Aye.
Councilmember Ibera.
Aye.
Mayor Ruane.
Aye.